You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play podcast that is normally Star Wars, but today we're doing something different. And what that difference is the phenomenal The Mecha Hack from Absolute Tabletop and Matt Click. I am joined by some wonderful players that are about to fall out with me as I have them horribly beaten by alien monstrosities. Wonderful players, would you like to introduce yourselves and tell our listeners who you're playing? And I'm going to start this time round with ACJ.
That's me. I'm ACJ, he, they, and I'll be playing as Nox, which I've neglected to mention this entire time has been she, they, and they'll be piloting the now rebranded Voidling instead of what I had originally as the Mini Void.
Sammy, pronouns are she, they. I'm playing Faye, who is they, them, and they're piloting Barricade, which is less an exosuit, more an exoskeleton. It's just plates bolted to their pilot chassis.
I am Riley, he, him. I'm playing Lucas, also he, him. Lucas pilots Razor, but today it's RJ, otherwise known as Razor Jr., and their call sign is Carbon Rex.
Howdy, folks. This is Chris, or Blame Cat on the forums, he, him, and I am playing Ruhk, he, him as well. He is in Iron Decimus normally, and nobody's given me a nickname for Decimus at this point, probably Desi at some point. But yeah, we're here.
Centimus.
Yeah, I thought Minimus, but Minimus was working. Yes, Iron Centimus works perfectly.
That's fair. That makes sense to me.
Where we last left our heroes, they are in a research asteroid orbiting the world of Balamar 8. I was going to say an abandoned research asteroid, but we have found to horrifying effect that is not in fact the case. We joined them at the bottom of a shaft which runs from the top to the bottom of the asteroid, a spindle running through it. They are currently staring upwards. The data core, which they have been sent to retrieve or to download the data from, they have gone the more traditional route of just nick it, is currently strapped to the back of Voidling using Voidling's grappling hooks and chains. They are looking up the shaft at a curtain of darkness which is descending. And the reason it is descending is that there are creatures who are tearing the lights out on each level of the shaft above them as they are making their way down. They have the heads of something vaguely crocodilian and the bodies of something vaguely centipedal, not millipedal. It has been pointed out to me that I have done millipedes a grave disservice as they're quite lovely creatures instead of the horrible, poisonous, murderous thingamabobs that centipedes are. I mean, they have lots of legs and they move weirdly, but yes, these are the bad sort of long-legged, move weirdly, long bodies. Long bodies, as opposed to the good ones. They are crowned with long, multi-jointed, spindly arms ending in 7-fingered hands, equipped with opposable thumbs and hooked chitinous claws that they're using to tear the lights out of the wall as they're moving down. Far above them, now lost completely in the darkness, apart from where our heroes' frantic stab lights can occasionally, just occasionally, catch a glimpse of it, there is something else. Something much, much bigger. Again, many-legged. Moving more akin to a spider than a centipede. But moving nevertheless, watching and waiting for its moment. The 3 crocopedes, meanwhile, have hit range of our heroes and are now launching themselves, springing off the walls of the shaft and dropping with great speed towards our heroes. And I'm going to ask for an initiative test, please, which is going to be the best of your systems or mobility, please.
And I got a 3 out of 13s.
That's a 14 under 17 for me.
8 under 14.
9 under 11.
Okay.
Yeah! We start blasting.
We're very ready. We're like, now.
These things have effectively pushed off and are dropping down at you. Not as fast as they should do, because again, there's some weird gravity thing going on, and you can see as they're dropping down, they have exuded organelles of some form that pop out like limbs, which then fan out in like a gossamer fan, which is catching in this shaft of reversed gravity that's running up the very centre of the shaft, and they're using that as column, and they're using that to slow their descent down and position themselves to be able to drop in the centre of you. At present, they are far distance. That's the point that they come into range of your guns. But they're covering that quite quickly, given that they're just plummeting keyless towards you. But all of you get to go first. Isn't that nice?
Yay.
Yay!
Who wants to shoot first?
Oh, I'm shooting missiles, just missile barrage, 100% doing that right off the bat. So I'll start us off. I'll light up the area a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a power test with combat, so that's 18 I'm going to roll under. So that is a 6. You're good. Damage-wise, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So there are 3 targets, correct?
Yep.
I actually have to pick targets now?
Yes. Yes, you do. What I'll let you do, though, is I'll let you roll the full damage pool, and then you can split how you want the damage to go. These 3 that you can see have 20 hit points each, so they're probably going to be taken down in a single missile barrage, but it might become relevant
That's
as
fair,
they...
depending on how much I roll. That's fair. Okay, alright, so I'm rolling. We got a 4. Yay. 4. I got a 3.
7.
I got a 2.
9.
And I got a 2.
11.
Yep, so all 11, I'm just going to pump into 1. I want one of them to at least be half health before they even touch the ground. So.
Yeah. It blows chunks out of them. What you also notice, and again, this is...
I have 2.
Oh, your react dice finds it.
Yeah, because I don't go down until I hit a 1. So.
Yeah. One of the really worrying things that you're seeing is, as your missiles are hitting them, the kinetic and explosive force of your missiles seem to be being channeled up its body. And so rather than like blowing limbs off and blowing holes off, what it just does is blow end segments off them.
Oh.
So they're shedding from their tail down.
Oh.
That's cool!
As they're channeling this explosive energy through their body and out to basically the redundant back parts of them. So their blood sizzles in the air and spatters around you. Again, not in concentrations enough that it's going to do you any damage, but this stuff is starting to eat into the metal and concrete. But yeah, the whole kind of, like the back half of it, segment by segment, has kind of blown off as your missiles have impacted on it.
It used to have 20 segments, and now it only has 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like, gosh, it's like ballistic shells, armor. So it just kind of, it's made to explode off. Oh, fun. Okay.
That's so much fun.
Oh, no, Lucas, that's not fun. That's worrying.
Fascinating.
It's cool!
Means we need a way out right now.
Yep.
Second action, any of you as an action can start comming Valkyrie and plotting a targeting solution. It will be systems tests, and what we need
I'll do it.
is 4 successful systems tests, but you can only make 1 test each, so you can't just sit there and go, I'm doing 2. That will start basically plotting a firing solution and bringing it round. It won't happen immediately, obviously, because they've got to pilot the ship round to get into position, and also you don't want to blow them out while you're standing in the area that you're targeting, but it will start the laser painting sequence for you.
I'll start it off then, since there's nowhere for us to go right now, so might as well, before we start to dodge hits and things. That is an 11.
So yeah, 1 box ticked.
Yes.
That was the revenge for the millipedes.
Yes. Apparently. So he kind of steps back after he gets on fire, and he's like, what's the name of our ship?
What is the name of your ship? I'll let you pick the name of your ship.
Oh no.
10 degrees of gravitas.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. A big fan of the culture books naming conventions for ships. Just gold, every one of them.
So are we going to go with 10 degrees of gravitas?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yes? Okay.
Just call it Gravitas.
Gravitas, this is Ruhk. I'm giving you directions. We need to have a painting solution. We need a way out of here. We are being attacked. He starts giving the, general ping.
Message received, Iron Centimus. We have got your firing solution. We're starting to move around in position. There's some distortion on your signal. We'll need you to maintain that beacon for us, at least until we get into range.
Understood. We'll do the best that we can. We have the core intact.
We're on our way. Next player character.
I could do some hacking.
Okay.
I'll do some hacking. And by that, I mean a systems test.
Yep.
Can I use my on-foot intellect or espionage for this?
Yeah.
All right. That's an 11. It's under 19, so we're good with that. So while Lucas is hacking, Razor is using its beam cannon, which is a power test. That's a natural 2, so I think that hits.
Yeah, it hits. It doesn't crit. There is one of these chassis that crits on a 2, and my friend who plays that one in the core game is very annoyed because they never roll a 2, ever.
Oh, no.
They have never rolled a 2.
Alright, I have a d10 damage dice, and it says +2 attack and damage. So +2 to whatever I roll here. That's a 10!
Nice.
That's a 10 on the dice! So that's 12 damage to one of the uninjured ones.
One of the uninjured ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once again, RJ's beam cannon hits it full on, and you see its maw kind of closes, it's kind of crooked in the face, and chitinous shielding kind of erupts from like a ruff around its neck to cover and protect its face and its eyes, and channels the blast of energy from the beam cannon down its body, and again segments from the back of it ablate away and cinder. There is another rain of boiling blood that kind of bursts out the back of it. Your life support systems are flagging up real warnings, organic compounds in the air, toxicity detected, do not breathe, filters running at full effect as it sprays down around you.
RJ is unhappy.
And RJ can breathe in space like Batman, so...
He did do a lot of training, that Bruce Wayne.
Yes! Next player character.
Hey, Nox, are you planning to shoot them or get up close?
They need to come to me. I don't want to go up there right now. Perfectly honest with you. I'm going to stick in garrison mode for a bit, so when they get here, I can take the fire.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to do that really quick, because it'll just be, I need to roll my reactor die for garrison mode. Rolled a 3, so that's fine. So I'll be adding 1d4 damage to my attacks, and I'll take... Oh, sorry, I'll be reducing damage by 1d4 for each attack I take, and then adding 1 to all damage I put out, but I'm going to do my systems test to try to... Ooh, I got a critical 1 on my systems test to signal to 10 degrees of the word gravitas.
Okay, so flat out as a critical, you have now filled in the box ticks on this. The laser painted solution is in. It's just going to take Valkyrie now and the pilots a little bit of time to get into position, but they now have that targeting solution and will be able to tell you when they're about to open fire so you can get out of the way of their laser cannons. What else would you like for your critical success?
I'd like to pass on some level of advantage to whatever Faye wants to do.
Yeah, I'm happy to give you advantage to your next attack test if you want, or alternatively, since I imagine what you're going to do is boost up there to get into punching range, I'll say that you don't need to roll your reactor die, because what you've done is you've jumped on the back of Voidling as it's converted into garrison mode, and as the various plates have positioned in, you've used them as a catapult to leap you to propel yourself up, because the gravity is weird here and it's quite low. And also, I think the cinematics of that are pretty cool. So yeah,
Fastball special.
yeah, you've been fastball special, and so don't need to roll your reactor die if you want to close into melee with one of these things.
Well, that works incredibly well, because I have a plan.
Of course, you have a plan.
Well, by plan, I mean axe. I have an axe.
I feel like this is Faye. That's Faye's catchphrase. I have a plan.
Absolutely, it's catchphrase.
Yep. So I have a chassis ability called Charging Strike, and when I move, I can make a free attack, and it usually costs my reactor die, but I guess because I'm bouncing off of Voidling.
Yep. So effectively, yeah, it will take both of your actions, because effectively it's 3 range bands you've got to cover, but you can cover that and attack by the combination of your various abilities with no need to roll your reactor die for any of these. Because, yeah, you've been fastball specialed up by the transforming Voidling.
Well, that's delightful. So for the attack, that is a 4. That's 1 damage.
Oh.
Were you going for one of the ones that would have been injured, or the third?
Yes, I was trying to finish off one of the ones that was injured.
You don't get any bonuses on your weapon?
Certain weapons do, but if it's light.
Light melee weapon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I move fast and I hit hard by burning out my reactor and hitting a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Which,
Like a Beyblade.
on that note, yep, that attack is part of my move action.
Yep.
Which means I have another action to attack.
You do.
Definitely not a critical failure, but
Oh.
Ah.
the one time I want to roll it high on a d20. Or what I want to roll low, I guess. Nope, all dice hate me.
You have Mim's look. You are this arch Mim.
Yep.
Robot voice, terrible luck with dice. Roy.
Yep. Checks out.
Roger.
The dice have to hinder. They're too powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You launch up and you lock in combat. You meet it head on, effectively slamming your axe into its maw, glancing off its scales. It is now the enemy's turn, and I think we're going to keep the camera on this, as this creature attempts to bind you with its lower legs and its kind of front gripping arms, so it can then bite you in the face. Can you please make me a mobility test to dodge?
Yes. Would athletics or combat apply to this?
Athletics will.
Well, I'm setting these dice aside for D&D because that's a failure.
Oh. It locks onto you, and like you're trying to fight back, and you almost get away, almost, and then those long, spindly, multi-jointed arms grab hold of you and just pull you back. And as you spin to try and dodge, it crunches its crocodilian maw for 6 points of damage.
Ow.
Well, that's all my AP and 1 hit point.
Yeah, and the two of you fall a range band naturally as you're plummeting down. The other two are not going for you, you'll be happy to know. Their eyes are locked firmly on the cluster of you at the base of the shaft. They fall for free, so they get a range band closer to you. They are still not within range to get you with their rending claws. They're still, a little bit away from you, plummeting down. Then, from their backs, the one who is uninjured raises its tail up, that is still attached, and flicks a barrage of needle-like spines down towards the group of you. Can the three of you at the base please make me mobility tests?
Not well, I'll tell you that.
Sure.
Because I have disadvantage on mobility tests right now because
You're in
no.
barricade mode, yeah.
Well, it's not a critical failure, but it is a 19.
I have succeeded in my mobility. That was a 6 out of 12.
I take the worst of the two, so I fail.
That is, for you, Ace, and you, Ryan, that is 4 points of damage as these razor-sharp chitinous spines lance into you. Now, luckily, Voidling has its garrison defenses, so I suspect that's probably not quite so bad. RJ howls in pain as these spines rip into it, and one of the spines just narrowly misses your fleshy part. It's sticking out a worryingly short amount from your armoured papoose, where it has gone right through the Kevlar.
Oh!
Ah!
The second one, not having a tail left anymore thanks to a barrage of mini-missiles, just continues plummeting down but reorients itself ready to drop, opening its mouth wide and spreading itself wide ready to drop and chomp. We go back to the top of initiative.
I think I would like to see Faye go first, since they're apart from us and currently in a problem. So, but yeah, for the sake of why Ruhk did not take damage, because he is not super mobile. It's because he pulled out his shield.
Yeah.
At the last second. Oh, yeah.
In like fantasy films where you see the arrowhead jut through and just narrowly miss the forearm.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Oh, okay.
But yeah, let's stick with Faye as the two of you are clasped together in free fall, kind of fighting. Well, yeah, kind of you manage to break free from them. They're no longer like gripping hold of you. But yeah, the two of you are locked in a pirouetting ballet as you both plummet down towards your companions.
Well, I've got them right where I want them.
Powerbomb.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, assuming we can take a liberal interpretation of the rules, I'm just gonna booster sprint directly into the ground with this thing.
Oh!
Yeah, I really like that. That's cool. Make me an attack roll first to basically see if you can grab it, and then we'll do your booster sprint. Because yeah, as you grab it and then drop it underneath you and then power down and flatten it beneath you.
Yeah. All right, so that's a 9, so that's an easy grab.
That's an easy grab. So, I'm not going to have you make a further attack roll because you don't need to. You've got it in position. If you roll me your reactor die for the booster sprint, but I think between the two of that, because you can just do that, knowing how many hit points it's got left and knowing what I'm going to give you as a bonus, because you were on the one that was most badly injured, I think that destroys it.
Excellent.
What you are going to do, though, is you're going to take 1 hit point of acid damage as when you smash it flat, just this geyser of extremely virulent bioorganic acid sprays up you, and, your stuff is bolted onto your body, effectively, so it starts to eat in.
So you know how I've never passed a reactor test in this game ever?
Yeah.
The streak continues.
Well, good thing you made it into this encounter with your full reactor.
Clearly, some of the acid has gotten into some of the wirings throughout your chassis, your reactor suddenly has to vent steam, and I feel kind of possibly ablates like some cooling spines off the back of it as it frantically tries to deal with the heat burst.
Yeah, Faye's all about maneuverability and going fast, so the sacrifice is some armor.
Gotta go fast.
Oh boy.
Next player character to go.
Nox is going to shoot now.
Now that our ally is out of range of bad guys, that makes
surprising herself with her efficacy of systems handling, she just starts to blast away. And she's going to do it twice, so I'll do my 2d20 and my 2d6s.
Do one attack at a time, just so I can work out what that looks like.
So first power test is going to be a 10 under 17.
Are you going for the one that's injured or the one that's uninjured?
Uninjured, because I want to knock the tail off of it at the least. So then I'm going to roll my damage, and that's going to be a 5. And then second attack, that is a fail. That is an 18. I'll still roll my reactor die for that. Oh, so I rolled a max on my reactor die. That's the good one, right?
Yes, for you it is, because of your module.
Kinetic reactor. If I roll a maximum result on a reactor die roll, you can choose to roll your damage die and deal that damage to a close or near enemy. So I miss, but it ricochets around and comes back and hits it in the back.
Yep, because it is currently near.
Sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's better damage too. That's 7 damage now.
Oh.
Yeah, as your shells, including the ones that you Robocop style bounce off the rock walls, you do see its tail and half of its back section ablate away, including that horrible spike launching section of it. Again, there's a shower of acid blood, but it diffuses just enough in the time it takes to fall on you that all it does is discolour some of your armour and probably polish off some of the dirt.
I'm thrilled by this because I didn't want to have to wash this down later. So
Next player character. So there are still 2 falling. They're both about half down. They are near to you at the moment. 1 range band away.
Okay, so I'm going to look at the shield, and we discussed, or I had mentioned in the last game, that the shield has the ability to pop out the submachine gun in the center of it, so he can just keep firing without having to drop the shield and grab that and do that kind of thing. So he's going to use the submachine gun on the one that is currently, damaged and angry because I shot it with a bunch of rockets. I'm going to shoot with a bunch of bullets now to repay the favor. That's a power test, correct?
Yep.
That's 4. That is a 4, so that hits. That is 6 damage.
Yeah, it blows yet more chunks out of the one that's dropping towards you. There is only so much of this creature it can ablate away before it starts losing its essentials, and it appears to have reached that point because the second spray of bullets that go into it, like the first burst, because you're kind of firing in 3-round bursts.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Tears some more of its tail off. The second blast from that punches into its main body and nothing further ablates, so yet more kind of blood starts spraying out of it. It is still functional, but it is clearly very, very badly injured now. And your second action?
Well, I mean, what can you do?
You can fire again. You can attack again. It just means you have to roll your reactor die afterwards to see if you...
Sure, why not? Yes, I'm going to do that. We'll do it. I have a perfectly normal reactor die right now, so we're fine.
Or you could use your missile barrage.
That's more damage overall.
And you can split it.
I mean, you still have to roll the reactor die, so we'll have to roll it twice.
No, are they both attack actions? Or is one a use?
It's an attack action.
So you'd have to roll your reactor die twice.
Oh.
But the one you've been firing at only has 3 hit points left. So if you missile barrage and get more than 3 damage, you can take that out and put the rest onto the other one that's coming down.
Sure, I'm gonna chance it for the team, so let's go with that. Go big, go home. Power test. Well, it's
Risk it for the biscuit.
Reactors are meant to be burned.
Yeah. This will be okay. All right, here we go. We're doing it. It's a power test in the combat times that. Yeah, the same thing. That is a successful hit. That is a 6 out of 18.
Yep.
So that hits. Here comes the damage. We'll do that first. There is 4 right there.
Yeah, so that takes out the first one immediately. Yeah.
There is 3. There is 3. There is 1. So it's but so 3 eats up the 1, and then you basically 4 and 4, so 8 for the other one. Yep. Cool. 8 damage. So the rockets just all over the place, and then now we'll see if the reactor goes nuts. That's a 2. I'm safe. Rolling again. That's a 2 as well. I'm safe.
Being too old for this, Criff, is again a ferociously useful ability.
Yes, 100%. I'm too old for this slag. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, as your missiles blow the one that you'd already shot into little fragments and badly injure the remaining one as it's tumbling down. That is again, it has lost all that it can ablate. It is gouting blood, its legs are twitching, and its jaw is open in a defiant snarl.
Alright, let's finish this off, Razor. Oh shit, that was a natural 20. On my beam cannon.
I mean, it's an outright miss. And I think what happens is, because so much of it has been blown away by Iron Centimus's missile barrage, your beam cannon effectively almost it dodges out of the way of that and follows that beam down to land on Razor. And it's going to do flat damage to RJ. It uses that effect, like it has lost so much momentum, so much mass, that it seems to be travelling a little bit faster. I know that's not how physics works. It's weird gravity here effect.
There's weird gravity here, exactly.
Well, it loses its flaps that are slowing it down so that it gets more streamlined.
So it's like Batman. It just kind of like drops the arms and goes faster, right? Falls faster.
That, I'm afraid, is 5 damage to RJ.
Ow. Well, guess what? We still have another action, so...
You do. It's now in melee with you, having locked its jaws onto Razor.
So Razor is gonna go at it with the Great Axe. I'm gonna need to roll a reactor dice once I'm done, but let's go. That is 16, which is above my 13 power. Let's roll a reactor dice. That is a 2.
So that downgrades as well.
That rate.
And I know what that looks like, if you'll permit me. So this thing's bite has some form of neurotoxin in it, and it has locked its jaws and pumped RJ full of that venom. Because of course RJ's reactor is not so much a power source like everyone else, it's RJ's own primal drive. Yeah, because that's why if you overheat, RJ doesn't power down, RJ has a rampage. Yeah, and this biotoxin floods into RJ, who lets out, I imagine, a pained whimper and staggers back. And its axe swing just kind of doesn't have enough force. So suddenly, that limb loses so much of its power as this toxin is pumped directly into the muscles.
RJ!
It is the enemy's turn. The only one that's left is the one that is locked on RJ, and it is going to continue effectively to death roll like crocodiles do. Now it's got its teeth in, it's going to try to roll its body as quickly as it can and tear RJ's arm off. Can you please make me a mobility test?
Come on, dice. Please be nice to me.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Nope. I rolled an 18.
That, I'm afraid, is a further 5 damage to Razor.
Gonna put 3 of those in the rest of my armor.
Yeah, of course you can. Yep.
I now have 0 armor and 4 HP.
Okay.
And I don't think it's managed to tear RJ's arm off, but it has flensed the muscle. That arm is now hanging limp and weak. RJ's augmented kaiju blood is frantically trying to knot and stop pumping out. And it is, again, letting out, I imagine, a pained whimper as this thing just tears chunks out of RJ. Luckily, it doesn't have a second attack, so I suspect it's not going to last much longer, but it is now. It is now a player turn.
Help!
Lucas! Who wants to go murder the thing? Because I don't mind, but...
I'll go murder the thing.
Okay.
I'll do my best to go murder the thing.
Okay,
so,
you go do your best to murder the thing. If you miss, then I'll go for it.
In barricade mode, I kind of slowly make my way over to Lucas and RJ and test under my power. 10 of 17. I do 5 damage.
That is enough to destroy it. And I would like you to paint me a picture for that. But I would like to include in that how you do RJ a further point of acid damage.
Okay, so that's simple enough. So I kind of, like I said, lumber over there on my slow treads now, and I just lop its head off, but towards RJ, so it like kind of bounces on RJ's head and dribbles some goo upon. sorry, I did my best. Just get up and let's get moving. We got to get out of the way of the painting.
Ow.
So I'm going to use the rest of my... I'm just going to kind of try to move towards the edge of the area, so I'm not standing right near the middle of the shaft.
And I'm going to drop out of initiative here, because as you kind of finish that and move to look back up the shaft to make sure it's clear, and as I imagine Faye is again still looking up there, at some point in the last few frantic seconds of confusion, that thing that, again, you could only just catch the edges of its moving, is no longer at the top of the shaft. It's no longer visible at all. Even turning your stab lights up to their maximum diffusion, their maximum intensity, you cannot see it.
That's concerning.
That's terrifying. Thank you.
Is it behind us?
We made a retreat. Great job, team.
Gravitas, are you here?
We'll be there in 2 minutes. We're just negotiating through some of the celestial debris. We are coming as quickly as we can. If you're on the other side of where you've given us a target, I recommend getting out of the way.
So we gotta go up.
Prepare quarantine procedures for our exfil. Unknown biological contaminants here.
On it.
Let's go into the rooms that are adjacent from the blast
Good idea.
and seal ourselves in.
Let's do it.
They are deep enough in and far enough away from where you've painted, especially when the doors are closed, that they will protect you from the blast coming through. You make your way to one of the... Are you going to the room where the data core was, or are you going to one of the other 4 kind of R&D labs that were on the spoke here?
Well, technically we closed those doors already.
Yeah.
The D in R&D stands for death.
Well, we got 2 minutes for them to come around, so we can open the door and go back in. So it's fine. It's not
Actually, yeah, let's investigate while we're...
one of
Try
the
and
R&D
knock its
rooms
butt.
for the sake of story. Let's do it.
You make it into... You open the door, you go into one of the R&D labs, you close the door behind you and it's sealed. Again, you're now getting TAC comms from Valkyrie as you're plotting the pathway of the ship coming into position.
Letting them know where we're at in relation to that, so they can angle it so it's not going to go right into our room.
This room here, again, all the computers are now effectively depowered because they're no longer being able to back up to the main server and data core because you have that strapped to your back. The pictoglyphs on the walls here are somewhat unusual, and it takes you a little bit of time, Faye, to translate them, because your pictoglyphs are designed to convey the maximum amount of information in the minimum amount of space. They're very, very efficient. And it's when you get new concepts that kind of breaks down a little bit, where you have to effectively go back to an alphabet to spell words. And that is very apparent here, because this section appears to be discussing something called Virillian pathways. The science here is above what your processor is programmed with, bluntly. It is... You know enough to go, this is some bleeding edge physics stuff. There is reference to pan-dimensional theory, there is reference to wormhole technology, and some of the stuff that make slip ships work, allowing them to basically kind of bob and weave and do fast and light travel. It certainly is in that vein, and you know enough about primacy pictoglyphs to be able to pick that up, but the science here is way beyond what you're programmed to understand.
I'm a combat chassis.
Yeah, basically. In your heads-up display, you get a little timer ticking down, basically to when Valkyrie and your ship is going to be in position to blast through. Suddenly, on your map, your heads-up display map that's still going here, that's still wide into some of the sensors of this base, an alert pings up that the airlock, the internal airlock, is cycling.
What?
The big guy is leaving.
Yeah.
3,
Oh, can we stop that?
2,
lock it down, Lucas?
We can try, but I don't think it's connected.
1. The whole asteroid shakes
Oh, God.
as the weaponry on the slip ship begins to start burning its way through the shell to get to where you are. You patch in, Lucas, and you do manage to get into the override of the airlock, and you do manage to cycle it closed. Then the alerts go that the airlocks on the outside are opening, and these are not cyclable because whatever damage was done to open them in the first place disconnected them from the ship. And thinking about it, that shouldn't... Again, that's not how the primacy work. It feels like they were trying to do some other kind of failsafe. But your alert comes that they open.
It got out.
Guess they were trying to keep it in.
Great.
Possibly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Unfortunately. I mean, fortunately for us, it's not coming to eat us.
Hopefully.
I mean, it's a million miles away from anything we care about. It should be fine, right?
Theoretically, yes,
As long
but
as it doesn't attach onto our ship, we're fine.
Well, I mean, if it does that, we can just deal with it. That'd be perfect.
we may have to focus on dealing with it regardless. If the primacy was trying to keep it in, it was for a good reason.
Maybe it'll go after the primacy and we won't have to worry about it.
Well, we have no idea what its capabilities are or how much damage it could cause if it gets out into the wider system.
We could just shoot it with the ship weapons.
That would actually probably work pretty well.
We're relaying this information to Gravitas so that they're aware not to get too close.
The asteroid stops shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Your alerts come on again that the atmosphere is now being vented from an uncontrolled breach. And again, you get the comms from Valkyrie. It's like, we're going to pull away from this hole for a minute while the unsecured things vent out. We'll let you know when the atmosphere stops venting and it's safe for you to make your way here.
Roger that.
Yeah, explosive decompression.
My favorite.
It takes a couple of minutes, and again, suddenly, on your heads-up display, because you're patched to the system here, you can see the alerts going as inside bulwark doors. Now there's a bit of power to this place, starts slamming closed. So the explosive decompression doesn't take that long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a couple of minutes, really, which again feels quicker than it should be, before Valkyrie comes you back over and goes,
Maybe it's time dilation and gravity warping that's happening here.
looks like you're clear now.
All right, let's go home.
All right. Everybody ready? Cover R6, just in case.
You cautiously make your way down the corridor. As you're making your way down the corridor, there is a sudden pull that effectively slams you all up to what is objectively the ceiling for where you are. Not enough to do any damage, but enough like it is a shock that you go up and you're held for a few seconds and you go down, and then suddenly you start floating as there is now no gravity in this at all. Valkyrie comes over and goes, I don't know if you felt that, but there was a sudden gravity surge.
Yep.
Yep.
Into the ceiling. Ow. Yeah, now there's nothing. What?
Are you alright?
Yeah, we're coming.
It came from the far side of the asteroid to where we are.
That's where the the airlocks are, isn't it?
No, that's where the void board detention is. Whatever that is.
Oh, I think that's what it was.
Possibly.
I think we just let the Void Maw out.
I have a horrible theory.
Void maw detention. Oh no.
You scud through the air, not hugely gracefully, having to now use your manoeuvring jets because this place has no gravity now at all, to the breach. There is some debris kind of that has fallen over, but you're able to move that out of the way without too much difficulty. You float your way over to your ship, and as your ship begins to pull away, they take it on a circuit of the asteroid to where the anomaly was, with weapons hot to blow this thing off the face of the asteroid to purge it clean. All you see, however, is a hazy patch. It looks like when you're staring at concrete in the heat and you get that heat shimmer. There is a patch of shimmering heat that is growing smaller and smaller as you're looking at it. The sensors of the ship are throwing out some very, very strange readings. Again, weird gravity anomalies here. There's something going on. And then it shrinks, and vanishes, and the alerts go from the sensors. I don't know what that was, fireteam, but we need to report this back to the Marshal. Is the data core on ship?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll make our way back. Strap in for void transit.
Locking in now.
Clunk, click every trip.
Buckle up, buddy.
And slipping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as the comforting sensation of your ship dropping into unspace and moving back to your capital ship to rendezvous with the Marshal, that is where I'm going to end the adventure and another successful mission for Fireteam Saber Harmony.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you, Adam. Oh,
Thanks,
thank
y'all.
you, team. Good job.
Yeah, thank you very much to my players for joining. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Yes.
I got very close to dying.
I hope it's been worth the wait, because obviously there's been a bit of a delay between mission 1 and mission 2. I hope the hype was worth it. I hope you still had fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Good.
It was so much fun.
All we did was unleash, an
Cosmic
extinction
horror
level
upon the
event
world.
onto our galaxy. No big deal. It's fine.
Galaxy.
It's probably the Primacy's fault in the first place. They had it chained up here.
Yeah, why'd they tuck it?
They were
It's rude.
researching it.
At least we have all the data stuff now, so
Yeah.
And that is it, really. So before we say farewell for the last time, do any of you have anything you want to plug? Anywhere that you can be found that you want people to know? Anything you want to say? Any last messages before we sign off this arc?
you can find me on Sil Zero. This is ACJ. You can find me on Sil Zero. Here on Force Majeure, I always recommend listening to Burnt Cookbook Party, and just have fun, everyone.
I have nothing to plug at the moment, but by the time this comes out, I will have a couple things. So one, I wrote a book. It'll probably be published by the time this is done.
Woohoo!
I can't say the title of the book on the air for we're not allowed to swear reasons.
That's a promising start. That is a promising start. When it's out, I will put a link to where you can buy it in the show notes, presumably on Amazon and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a link in the show notes, so if you have a sensitive disposition or children, don't read the show notes, but the link will be there.
Yep. And the other thing is started a new podcast. So
Ooh,
Friends with Consequences should be out by the time this is.
that is a quality name for a podcast.
We alternate between Vampire the Masquerade and Mothership. So in the
love
theme of
Mothership.
cosmic horror,
Yeah,
wait for season 2.
yeah, excellent. Again, links will be in the show notes for those two shows.
Yay!
The only thing I've done before this is also this, so you can find me earlier in the Force Majeure feed, or on the Force Majeure Discord, I guess, if you really want to talk to me.
Absolutely.
Of course, who wouldn't? You're a delight. Let no one tell you otherwise. And I don't mean that sarcastic. That sounded really sarcastic. I don't mean it. You are a delight. You can tell because I've asked you back. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you very much again to my players. I've really enjoyed this. I love this system. I love this game. I love this fire team. Y'all are just wonderful
So much
to run
fun.
for.
We are a family. We're not a fire team. We're a family.
Yeah.
Yay!
I have so many more missions in this campaign as well. So, again, I don't think it's the last we'll be hearing from this fire team. If the stars align, obviously we are spread out across 9 different time zones or something crazy like that. We're all very
Between the four of
distributed
us,
here.
9 zones.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very grateful, especially to those on the really far side of the world for getting up early to come and play with me.
From the west coast of Europe to the west coast of the United States.
Yeah, we are spread. And Canada as well, of course.
Yeah.
Represent.
Thank you very much to you guys. It's been a blast. Thank you, as always, to my listeners. You make this worthwhile. And yeah, look after yourselves, remain delightful, and we will see you all next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Edge Studios. Our intro music is by the amazing Sly Fox Audio. Check out more of her work at soundcloud.com/slyfoxaudio. Our outro music is Suburban Outlaw instrumental version by Forget the Whale, used with gratitude under a Creative Commons license. Many of the sound effects and soundscapes are created using Sirenscape, because epic games need epic sounds. If you're enjoying the show and want to support us, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod, where for as little as $1 a month you get access to outtakes, adverts, various other stuff, and my fortnightly ramblings. You can drop us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod, or you can leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to interact with us, there's a few ways you can do that. We are on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as @forcemajeurepod, and we're over on Mastodon as @forcemajeurepod at dice.can. You can also join our Discord, link in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening and being with us as we tell these stories. We hope you are having fun, and we will see you next time.